you ever have one of those days or weeks where you feel completely stuck? Like you know exactly what you want to do, you even know what you should be doing, but you just can't. It's that awful, frustrating feeling of inertia. But what if I told you that feeling isn't some personal failure? What if it's actually your brain doing its job perfectly and keeping you stuck on purpose? Let's get into it. I mean, it's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We've all got goals, things we want to do better, habits we want to start, but when it's actually time to make that change, it feels like we hit this invisible wall. Well, today, we're going to look at the biology behind that wall, and trust me, it's probably not what you think. Okay, so first things first, we have to talk about how we get this whole thing wrong from the start. We completely misdiagnose the problem because most of us jump to the exact same and totally incorrect conclusion that something is fundamentally wrong with us, right? That little voice in your head kicks in. I'm so lazy. I just don't have enough discipline. Why am I so unmotivated? We take these feelings, the hesitation, the procrastination, and we see them as proof that we've got some kind of character flaw. But we're reading the signals all wrong. So if it's not a flaw, then what in the world is going on? Well, to get that, we need to understand the main character in this whole drama, your brain. And your brain, well, it has one single overriding agenda that influences almost everything it does, and that is survival. And right here, this is where the conflict starts. See, your conscious mind, you're chasing things like growth and fulfillment and new experiences. But your brain? Oh no, your brain is playing a completely different game. Its only goal is safety. And the way it defines safety is predictability. It just wants to know exactly what's going to happen next. And this right here is the key. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between a good unknown and a bad unknown. All it knows is unknown. So starting that exciting new business, to your brain, that just screams unfamiliar territory, and it flags it as a potential risk. Honestly, it would rather keep you in a miserable job that you hate, because at least that misery is predictable, it's known. And to your brain, familiar always equals safe. So how does your brain keep you locked in place? It's not like it can build a literal wall. No, it's much, much smarter than that. It uses a whole toolkit of feelings and sensations that are probably very familiar to you. Just think about this. That sudden wave of exhaustion that hits you right when you sit down to work on that big project, that's one of its tools. That little voice of doubt whispering that you're not good enough, that's another tool. Procrastination, hesitation, that sudden paralyzing fear of failure, these aren't signs that you're weak. These are sophisticated, protective signals your brain is sending to try and make you retreat back to what it knows is safe. So this whole phenomenon actually has a name. It's called biological inertia. Think of it like your brain's factory default setting. It's this natural, deeply ingrained resistance to change that automatically prioritizes the comfort of what's familiar over the massive potential of the unknown. It's a survival mechanism that kept our ancestors alive for thousands of years, but in our modern world, it can really hold us back. Okay, so now that we know what the brain is up to, we can actually start to push back a little. Not by fighting it, but by challenging its fundamental belief. This is the part where we start to rewrite the story we've been telling ourselves. You have to remember, your brain is kind of running on old software. That jolt of fear it sends when you think about making a big life change is the same type of alarm signal it would send if you stumbled across a tiger in the jungle. It's a learned, automatic, habitual response. It is not a rational assessment of the actual danger you're in right now. Let's just let that sink in for a second. The resistance you feel is learned, automatic, and rooted in survival, not truth. This changes absolutely everything. It means that powerful, overwhelming feeling of "I can't do this" isn't a fact. It's a biological echo. It's an old survival habit peeking in. It is not a reflection of reality. It's not the truth. So what do we do about it? If we can't just fight our own brain, what's the move? Well, the answer isn't a big battle. The antidote is actually something much quieter and way more powerful. It's simple awareness. Look, I'm not about to give you a 5-step plan to crush procrastination forever, because that's just another way of starting a fight with your own biology. The goal here isn't to fight. It's to have a quiet, internal shift in perspective, a realization that can change your relationship with these feelings for good. So here's what that looks like. The next time you feel that resistance, that doubt, that sudden urge to check your phone for the 10th time, just notice it and then name it. Oh, there it is. That's biological inertia. That's just my brain trying to keep me safe. The second you recognize these signals for what they are, just biological patterns, not deep personal failings, they start to lose their grip on you. You're not the victim of the feeling anymore. You're the observer of it. And from that place, you can still choose to take that one small step forward. So we'll leave you with this question. For most of your life, you've probably seen this resistance as a weakness, as some flaw in yourself that you needed to fix. But if it's not a flaw, if it's just a predictable biological pattern, what does that make possible for you now?